Today we're going to find out if you can create a song using only the plugins that come stock with the Apollo Twin Duo. Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. It was morning time and I'm drinking my coffee here. It's actually kind of cold. Gotta have the morning coffee. This is a Finnish mug by a company called Itala. This is how I enjoy my coffee in the morning, is out of a nice Finnish mug. Highly recommend. So I wanted to do something a little bit different today. What I want to do is I want to talk about the Apollo Twin Duo USB. I get asked about this all the time, and yes, it's the USB version. You can see here, it's a USB 3.0 connection. So I thought what might be kind of useful is actually just going through and creating a song using only the plugins that come stock with the Apollo Twin Duo. Now I know they change up the plugins that come stock with the unit time to time, but when I bought this, it came with just like a basic package. I would call it like a pretty versatile toolbox, essentially, of plugins that you can use to mix and master your songs. Now, these are the plugins that came stock with it when I bought the unit. I know they change this up every now and then, but they're gonna be very similar. Disclaimer, I've never actually done this, so I have no idea what the song is gonna come out like, or if the plugins actually are gonna sound good in a full mix. So I'm pretty interested to hear how it sounds. But this is one piece of gear I get asked about all the time. I consistently get asked about my Apollo Twin Duo and should I buy one? Is it worth the money? And hopefully this video helps answer some of those questions for you. I'm gonna break this video up into multiple segments. The first segment's just gonna be tracking guitars, and then we'll go on and we'll do tracking bass, tracking vocals, and then hopefully tracking drums also. I would like to track live drums for this just to give you the full gamut of what you can do with this. With tracking drums, I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do it yet. There's only 2 XLR inputs on this unit, if you can see that. There's 2 XLR inputs, and then there's an optical in. So you can connect another interface via optical cable, and that'll give you additional inputs, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do that, or maybe I'll just try and get creative with 2 microphones miking up a drum set. If anyone has any preference on that, let me know in the comments below. I'd like some input on what you would like to hear. I try to read all the comments and I try to get back to people as much as possible, so if you want to know anything, just, yeah, comment away. All right, with all that being said, let's go over and... So I have my Apollo hooked up and I'm plugged into the high Z input. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna select a guitar tone here, and we'll use that to not only monitor ourselves, but we'll also track that guitar tone inside our DAW. Okay, so I opened up the Apollo console, and in here you have a couple options. You can add in effects into your unison slot right here, or you can actually add them into your inserts down here. When you use the unison slot, the Apollo will actually change its impedance on the input to match whatever it's emulating. So if you are using a preamp, like a channel strip or something like that, like one of these Neves channel strips, it will actually change the impedance to match the board that that's emulated from. So we're just gonna go into guitar and bass here. Let's try the Marshall. And... So over here on your right, you have UAD record or UAD monitor. If you have this in monitor mode, essentially what it's doing is it's recording the DI signal, but you're monitoring with all the effects. If you have it in record mode, it's actually gonna record and print the effects onto your track. So I have this in record mode because of the way that I have my guitar set up right now. So if I had it in monitor mode, I'd be trying to dial this amp in and you wouldn't hear anything. Yeah, so that's that. So anyways, let's just mess with this a little bit, see if we can dial in something a little bit better. I don't know. Sounds a little bit better. Okay, that's not bad. I'm not really stoked on this. I don't know, it just sounds kind of weird. Let's try something else. Put it on the insert instead. Let's try the Tweed Deluxe. All of these plugins came with the Apollo. I haven't purchased any additional plugins for it, so just FYI. I already like that better. So now that I have a reasonable guitar tone dialed in, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to be recording this. I'm going to be printing this on the track. You can monitor with this and then record the DI and go back and change the guitar settings if you want to, but I'm just going to go ahead and print this. This is a song that I previously recorded, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and redo all the instruments with only the Apollo interface, and I'll also go through and mix it later on with only the Apollo interface. So this should give you some idea of what you can do if you bought just an Apollo interface. So typically how I write is I will write guitar riffs to a click, and then I'll program drums and redo the guitar riffs, maybe dial some stuff in. If I'm writing with an actual drummer, I do all of that stuff, and then I send the files off to the drummer, minus the MIDI drums, have them write their own drums, and then record to the song. Typically that's how I write songs. So we're gonna do sort of the same thing here. So I have my track armed, my clicks on. Let's do this. Okay, guitar sounds like shit. Let's go back to square one here. Maybe I'm gonna go back to the Marshall. Let's try it with the Marshall. Bad. We'll try that and we'll see how that sounds. I'm just gonna record these guitar takes and stitch all this together, and that way you don't have to sit through it. Okay. We'll pan that one left, and then we're gonna do the right track. Usually when I track guitars, I do two tracks. I do one left and one right. It just makes it sound a lot bigger. So they're playing the same exact thing, just one's left, one's right. Alrighty. I got pretty far on that take. Okay, so that's both the rhythm guitars. I normally do a thing here. Let's dial something in here. I'm going to use a precision delay because you don't have a lot of options with the bundle that's included with the Apollo. Let's just do a preset here so I don't have to mess with this too much. Beer commercial solo. Okay. Gallop over the mountain. Kind of cool. The Crystal Method. Ooh, Flight the Way. That's more what I'm looking for. Let's do that. We're just gonna print that bad boy right on there. Another thing that I'll mention is there actually is a distortion pedal in here, so if you're looking for a high gain setting, you can throw the distortion pedal in your chain. Here, why don't I just show you? So if I wanted to, I could add this raw distortion pedal in to kind of boost the signal a little bit. This isn't my normal guitar sound, so it just is what it is, but this is what the unit comes with, so I just wanted to show you that. Typically when I'm recording guitar anyways, I try to keep the gain pretty low, because a lot of times in mastering, you'll add saturation to the whole track, and if you have guitars that are really oversaturated to begin with, it can really just muddy them up and make a mess out of the whole thing. So I like to record my guitars with just enough distortion, just as much as I need to do what I want to do, and that's it. I don't like to add any extra distortion on top of that. I like to keep it as clean as possible while still being able to pull off things like pinch harmonics and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna play back the end of that real quick so that you guys can see what's going on. Okay, cool. So obviously I have a lot more to do there. There's gonna be a lot of work to do in the mixing to make that sound good. To be honest with you, the emulation from the amps that come with the Apollo are not really my thing, and I'm not a huge fan of them. They might be better suited for more like blues guitar player or something that uses less distortion, but for me they just sound kind of to me they just don't really sound that great. But we are gonna mix this and we're gonna see if we can make them sound good using only the plugins that come with it, remember. Yeah, I'm gonna cut back to myself sitting over there now. Okay, bye. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. And as always, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I try to read through all the comments and answer the questions to the best of my abilities, so yeah, if you wanna know something, ask away. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'm out.